This is our project for today, our little metal book. 3x3, metal front and back, 12 watercolor pages, lots of embellishments on the front cover and on each page, machine stitching and hand stitching and adding little bits of this and that. All right, I'm starting off with two pieces of 3x3 metal. These are created from a metal flower pot and a piece of leather. I like the fuzzy side to show, so I'm going to take some tacky glue, put it on the back of these metal pieces and turn it over on the leather, and then I'm actually going to sit on it. Make sure and get the tacky glue close to the edges. Lay your book covers on your leather. I'm going to put a paper towel on here so it doesn't stick to my bum, and I am going to sit on this. I have watercolor paper that I tore into 3x3 pieces. I do have a Zutter corner cutter. They no longer make this. You can just use your scissors and create a corner, or I believe Crocodile makes a corner cutter now. So I'm just rounding the corners on all my pages. I'm bringing in the Distress Ink Walnut Stain, going around the edges. I'll hit both sides, the edges of the pages, and I will do that to all the pages. Next, I'm going to create a template for the holes. I'm going about 1/4 of an inch in from the edge. So about 1/4 of an inch in from the edge. I use a black marker so you can see it a little bit better. And about 1/2 inch from the top and the bottom. And I'm going to poke a hole with my Crocodile where those meet. Since this is a small book, I'll be using the small hole punch on my Crocodile. And this is the template that I'll use to punch holes in all of the pages and also the covers. Bring my Crocodile in, line it up with that hole. I do it one at a time and pop holes in all of the pages. I'm going to cut my book covers out. I'll leave just a little bit of leather around the outside so that the metal edges aren't sharp. And I'll do that to the other piece. Bring in my templates. Mark where I want the holes to be on both of the covers. I'm going to bring my Crocodile in and pop holes here, or you can drill holes. That works too. So I marked on the book covers where I want the hole. I'm bringing in my drill, and I'm going to drill the hole in the book cover. There's the holes drilled. I'll do that to the other cover. Now I'm going to bring in tiny eyelets and install those with my Crocodile. I'm also going to drill a hole in the very center of the front and the back covers. I'm going to add a jump ring to the center holes. Now the jump rings you can wiggle apart. You can feel them kind of soften up. Install that in your book cover and then wiggle it back and forth until they meet one another again. So the jump rings have a split in them, or the ones that I have are a split, and you wiggle them back and forth and then they soften up, then you can install them, and then you can wiggle them back in place. Now if they're too firm for you to do with your fingers, you can always bring in some pliers to help you along with that. But they will go back together. There we go. I'm bringing in a 9x13 glass pan, some very strong coffee that I made with instant coffee, and a cup with a fun bottom ring on it. And I'm going to lay the cards down. Bring in my coffee cup and my coffee. And add some fun drips and rings to the pages. And let those dry. I did use a heat gun to help dry them, and then where there were big blotches, I would tap the page like that and create some drips. Now I'm going to put the pages down again and do the other side exactly the same with the coffee cup and the coffee. All right, so for instance, this one is nice and juicy. So I'm going to take it and give it a little tap and create some splatters. And then dry it with my heat gun. Here's another one. This will make fun splatters. Beautiful. Go through your pages, and if anybody needs a little bit more coffee, go ahead and set them aside and add coffee to them until your heart is content. I'm going to bring the pages back in, the yummy, they're already sounding delicious, the yummy pages, and I am going to put an eyelet in each page to keep them strong. All right, I have 12 pages, they all have eyelets in them. Now I will find some images. I'll need 24 images for the pages. So do the best you can to find some fun images. I've already started to collect some. Just assorted. No theme. I'm going to put Mod Podge on the back of the image and start putting them on my pages. I'll put an image on the front of all of the pages and then go back and put an image on the back of the pages. Okay, I have all my images on my pages. Like I say, there's no theme. I just went through and picked out some interesting pictures from a magazine. I have a pile of scripts and scraps and laces and cheesecloth and coffee dyed and ragged and beautiful, and so I'm going to take these things to the sewing machine and I'm going to start to sew them on the cards, on the pages. So I've decided I want to put this on the front, and I am going to be tying it on, so I need a couple of holes. Bring my drill back in and drill 2 holes there. This is what I'm going to use as a tie for the book. Put some hot glue on the back of this. Set that down where I want it. Bring in a little bit of the black braided binding twine, and I'll just tie that clock in place, tie a square knot, I'll trim off some of that string, and the front of our book is done. Yum, yum. All right, I'm going to go ahead and bind my book with the Coptic binding. Okay, here's the completed book. The embellishment on the front, the little tie to hold it together. I did do some hand stitching, machine stitching. This goes here. Added buttons. I did bring my stabilo in a little bit. All right, everyone, go create, go play, go have fun.